In a shocking turn of events, YNW Melly has reportedly beaten his long-running legal battle as the gang-related investigation against him crumbles. After years of high-profile court battles, media speculation, and public scrutiny, sources close to the case claim that key evidence against the rapper has been discredited, leaving prosecutors scrambling and fans celebrating. This is more than just a legal victory. It's a moment that could redefine how gang-related charges are prosecuted in cases involving high-profile artists. YNW Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, has been under intense legal scrutiny since his arrest. The case, which has dominated headlines for years, involved allegations of gang involvement and serious criminal activity. However, recent developments have shaken the foundation of the investigation. Witness credibility, procedural errors, and critical inconsistencies in the evidence have all surfaced, weakening the prosecution's stance. Legal analysts suggest that this collapse may set a precedent for similar cases moving forward, highlighting the importance of meticulous investigative work and the dangers of relying on shaky testimony. Fans and the hip-hop community have erupted online in response. Social media platforms are flooded with reactions celebrating Melly's apparent triumph, with many arguing that the rapper has been unfairly targeted for years. Others are questioning the justice system, wondering how a case that seemed so strong could fall apart so dramatically. Meanwhile, the music industry is abuzz with speculation about how this legal victory will affect Melly's career, public image, and future projects. This story isn't just about Melly. It's about the larger dynamics of justice, celebrity, and gang-related investigations in the modern era. With so many angles still unfolding, the public is eager for every detail, every update, and every insider revelation. And as the investigation unravels, one thing is clear. The narrative surrounding YNW Melly is far from over, and the consequences of this case could echo throughout the music world for years to come. The YNW Melly case has been one of the most high-profile legal sagas in hip-hop over the past several years. What began as a sensational story in the media about the rapper's alleged involvement in gang activity has now taken a dramatic turn, as reports suggest that the investigation is crumbling and Melly may have beaten the case entirely. For fans, this is a victory long in the making. For the justice system, it raises serious questions about investigative procedures, evidence handling, and the credibility of witnesses in high-profile cases. Jamel Demons, professionally known as YNW Melly, first drew national attention with his chart-topping tracks, viral moments, and social media presence. His meteoric rise in the music industry was shadowed, however, by ongoing legal troubles. Allegations of gang affiliation, violent activity, and involvement in serious crimes had put him under the microscope of law enforcement. Prosecutors had argued that Melly's connections to gang members and his social media posts indicated a pattern of criminal behavior, and for a time, the case seemed airtight to the public. The turning point began when defense attorneys started systematically dissecting the evidence. Reports suggest that key witnesses were found to have inconsistencies in their statements, undermining the credibility of their testimonies. In criminal cases, particularly those involving gang activity, witness testimony is often pivotal, and any discrepancies can drastically weaken a prosecution's case. Analysts note that the defense team's meticulous approach exposed holes in the investigation, forcing the prosecution to reconsider the strength of their claims. Procedural errors further compounded the prosecution's difficulties. According to insiders, there were issues with how evidence was collected and handled, raising the possibility that certain pieces could be deemed inadmissible in court. This included reports of mishandled documents, questionable chain of custody practices, and delays in crucial evidence submission. In legal circles, such errors are not minor. They can be the difference between a conviction and a dismissal, particularly in cases that rely heavily on physical or testimonial evidence rather than direct observation of a crime. The social media reaction to these developments has been immediate and intense. Fans and supporters of YNW Melly flooded platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, expressing relief, disbelief, and outright celebration. Many framed the legal victory as proof that Melly was unfairly targeted due to his celebrity status, arguing that the public narrative had been skewed for sensationalism rather than grounded in fact. Hashtags celebrating his win began trending, and memes highlighting the collapse of the investigation spread rapidly, showing just how invested the community is in his outcome. Legal analysts have begun weighing in on the larger implications of the case. Beyond the individual victory for YNW Melly, experts point out that this situation could have ripple effects for other gang-related investigations involving celebrities. The case underscores the importance of rigorous investigative standards, proper evidence handling, and the dangers of relying heavily on potentially biased or unreliable witness testimony. Some analysts predict that prosecutors will be more cautious in future cases, particularly when social media evidence or high-profile defendants are involved. The collapse of the case also raises questions about public perception and media influence. For years, headlines painted Melly as a rapper deeply involved in criminal activity. News outlets focused on his alleged gang affiliations, courtroom drama, and the sensational aspects of the story. Now, with reports suggesting that the investigation has fallen apart, the narrative is shifting. Supporters argue that the media misrepresented him, while critics question whether the justice system's initial handling of the case may have been overly aggressive or politically influenced. In addition to legal and public perception angles, there's the question of Melly's career. With this development, his focus may now shift back to music, promotions, and reconnecting with fans without the weight of legal uncertainty. Industry insiders suggest that a cleared case could open doors for collaborations, tours, and media appearances that were previously stalled. While the court of public opinion is unpredictable, overcoming such a high-profile legal battle could cement Melly's story as one of resilience and comeback, a narrative that resonates deeply in hip-hop culture. By the end of Part 1, the significance of this moment is clear. The alleged collapse of the gang-related investigation against YNW Melly is more than a personal legal victory. It's a cultural event that touches on the intersection of celebrity, justice, and media influence. For fans, it is a vindication. For the legal system, it is a cautionary tale about evidence, procedure, and credibility. And for the broader music and entertainment community, it serves as a reminder that fame, controversy, and justice are often inextricably linked, with outcomes that can shock the public and redefine narratives in an instant. The unraveling of the gang investigation against YNW Melly has become one of the most talked-about legal stories in recent memory, not only because of the rapper's celebrity status but also because of the dramatic way the case has collapsed. What initially appeared to be a solid prosecution has now been exposed as riddled with inconsistencies, errors, and questionable evidence. Understanding how the investigation fell apart requires a close look at the chain of events, the handling of witnesses, and the legal strategies that ultimately worked in Melly's favor. Central to the case were allegations of gang involvement. Prosecutors argued that Melly maintained ties to organized groups, suggesting that his connections influenced criminal behavior and implicated him in violent activities. For months, law enforcement agencies focused on establishing these connections, using social media posts, past arrests, and purported insider testimonies as evidence. At first glance, the case seemed ironclad. However, as the defense team began dissecting the materials, cracks started to appear. Witness testimony, which initially appeared to be the backbone of the prosecution, became one of the weakest links in the case. Multiple witnesses, some of whom were former associates or individuals with criminal backgrounds themselves, provided statements that were inconsistent, contradictory, or demonstrably unreliable. Legal experts note that in gang-related cases, witness credibility is paramount. Even a single inconsistency can undermine the prosecution's narrative. But in this case, multiple errors compounded the problem. Cross-examination in court revealed that several witnesses had motives to exaggerate or fabricate claims, whether to reduce their own charges or out of personal grudges. This revelation significantly weakened the prosecution's position and cast doubt on the integrity of the investigation. Procedural missteps by investigators further contributed to the case's collapse. Reports suggest that evidence collection was flawed in several key areas. For instance, some materials were improperly catalogued, delaying their submission to court and raising questions about the chain of custody. In other instances, documents and recordings crucial to the prosecution's claims were mishandled or deemed inadmissible due to errors in how they were obtained. Such mistakes are far from trivial in legal proceedings. Courts can and often do dismiss cases, or portions of cases, when procedural errors compromise the fairness of the trial. For YNW Melly, these missteps provided a lifeline. Social media also played a complex role in the investigation. Prosecutors initially used Melly's posts and public persona as evidence of criminal behavior. However, defense attorneys argued that context matters, pointing out that lyrics, videos, and online content are often dramatized expressions rather than literal confessions. The lines between artistic expression and actual criminal activity became central in court debates. Analysts suggest that over-reliance on digital evidence may have backfired, as it opened the door for the defense to question interpretation, intent, and authenticity. Another factor contributing to the collapse was the timeline of the investigation. Prosecutors initially attempted to connect multiple alleged incidents over several years, presenting a narrative of ongoing gang activity. However, inconsistencies in dates, locations, and witness recollections created gaps in the story. Defense lawyers highlighted these gaps relentlessly, showing that the prosecution could not establish a clear, consistent chain of events linking Melly to the alleged criminal acts. This systematic dismantling of the narrative left the court with serious doubts about the case's validity. Public reaction has been intense. Fans of YNW Melly took to social media to celebrate what they perceive as a long-overdue victory. Memes, trending hashtags, and reaction videos flooded platforms, framing the collapse of the investigation as proof of Melly's innocence and resilience. At the same time, critics and commentators questioned how such a high-profile case could be mishandled to this degree, sparking debates about the effectiveness of law enforcement in celebrity-related cases and the dangers of media-driven narratives influencing public opinion. Industry insiders note that the collapse of the investigation may have broader implications. Beyond Melly himself, the case highlights potential weaknesses in how gang-related crimes are prosecuted, particularly when high-profile figures are involved. Future investigations may need to be more meticulous, with an emphasis on corroborating evidence, witness vetting, and strict adherence to procedural standards. For Melly, the case's unraveling not only means legal freedom, but also an opportunity to reclaim control of his narrative, both publicly and professionally. By the end of Part 2, it's clear that the collapse of the gang investigation wasn't a single moment, but the result of multiple factors: unreliable witnesses, procedural errors, weak evidence, and strategic legal defense. What seemed like an unshakable case has now been dismantled piece by piece, turning what could have been a career-defining legal nightmare into a moment of vindication. For YNW Melly, this represents far more than freedom. It's a dramatic shift in how both the public and the justice system perceive the case, setting the stage for his next moves in music, media, and life after the courtroom. With the gang investigation against YNW Melly unraveling, the ripple effects have extended far beyond the courtroom. The collapse of the case has not only brought relief to the rapper and his legal team, but has also sent shockwaves through the media, law enforcement circles, and the music industry. Analysts note that the situation highlights the intricate interplay between celebrity status, legal accountability, and public perception, offering lessons that could influence how high-profile cases are handled in the future. One of the most immediate impacts has been on public perception. For years, headlines painted YNW Melly as a figure deeply entangled in gang activity, casting a shadow over his music career. The narrative surrounding him was sensationalized, emphasizing alleged criminal ties and courtroom drama rather than artistic achievements. Now, as the investigation collapses, fans are seizing the moment to reframe his story. Social media platforms have erupted with discussions celebrating Melly's resilience and critiquing media coverage that may have unfairly painted him in a negative light. Memes, reaction videos, and viral posts underscore a key point. Public opinion is highly malleable, and a narrative can shift dramatically when legal outcomes defy expectations. Industry insiders are also taking note. Music executives, promoters, and collaborators recognize that a legal victory of this magnitude can have significant implications for Melly's career trajectory. With the threat of a gang-related conviction removed, opportunities previously stalled or cancelled may now be back on the table. Tours, collaborations, and media appearances that were once uncertain can move forward with renewed confidence. Analysts predict that this could also lead to increased attention for Melly's upcoming projects, with fans eager to see how he channels the drama of the past years into new music. The collapse of the case could, paradoxically, serve as a catalyst for career growth, reinforcing the idea that overcoming adversity can be a powerful narrative in the music industry. The legal and law enforcement communities are quietly taking stock as well. While prosecutors initially believed the case was solid, the unfolding events have prompted internal reviews and reflections on investigative methods. Missteps in evidence collection, inconsistencies in witness statements, and procedural errors have all been highlighted as critical factors in the case's collapse. Legal analysts emphasize that such high-profile cases require extraordinary attention to detail, as any weakness can be amplified under public scrutiny. The YNW Melly case may serve as a cautionary tale for future investigations involving celebrities or complex gang-related allegations, illustrating the need for meticulous strategy and credibility. Media coverage of the development has been intense, with news outlets scrambling to update their audiences and reinterpret previous reporting. Some journalists have focused on the technical reasons behind the collapse, dissecting the legal strategy and highlighting procedural flaws. Others have framed the story as a dramatic narrative of triumph, emphasizing Melly's resilience in the face of public scrutiny and legal pressure. The dichotomy reflects broader tensions in journalism between sensationalism and responsible reporting, particularly when covering cases involving high-profile figures in the entertainment industry. Social media has played a pivotal role in shaping the narrative. Fans have celebrated Melly's legal win, framing it as evidence of justice prevailing despite years of controversy. Online, debates have flourished about the broader implications of celebrity trials and gang-related investigations, with some questioning law enforcement priorities and others defending the original prosecution. Memes and trending hashtags reflect not only fandom loyalty but also a larger cultural conversation about how justice intersects with fame, media representation, and public perception. Beyond legal, media, and fan perspectives, the collapse of the case also has implications for hip-hop culture. YNW Melly's experience underscores the vulnerability of artists navigating fame, personal challenges, and legal scrutiny. It highlights how the music industry and society at large often intertwine narratives of criminality and artistry, sometimes unfairly impacting reputations. With the case now weakened, Melly has an opportunity to reclaim his image, emphasizing creativity and resilience over controversy. In conclusion, Part 3 underscores that the fallout from the collapse of the gang investigation is multidimensional. YNW Melly's legal victory is not merely about freedom from charges. It reshapes public perception, media narratives, law enforcement practices, and the trajectory of his career. Fans, journalists, and industry insiders alike are watching closely, understanding that this moment could redefine both Melly's story and broader conversations about celebrity, justice, and culture in America. The collapse of the gang investigation against YNW Melly has sent shockwave through the music industry, sparking conversations not just about the rapper's legal victory, but also about the broader implications for artists who find themselves entangled in high-profile legal battles. While fans celebrate the moment, industry insiders are analyzing how this development could reshape Melly's career trajectory, influence collaboration opportunities, and impact his public image moving forward. One of the most immediate effects is the potential for a career resurgence. With the legal cloud lifted, Melly can now focus on creating and promoting music without the constant distraction of court appearances and legal uncertainty. Insiders predict a surge of activity in his upcoming projects, with unreleased tracks, collaborations, and potential tours likely to gain momentum. Music executives see this as a strategic moment to leverage both his legal victory and the public attention surrounding it. In the entertainment world, narratives of triumph and resilience often translate into commercial success, and Melly's situation fits that pattern perfectly. Collaborations, in particular, are expected to increase. Artists who may have been hesitant to work with him while his legal situation was uncertain might now reconsider. Record labels and fellow musicians see the opportunity for mutually beneficial partnerships, especially given the publicity and virality that this case has generated. Rumors have already begun circulating about possible collaborations with other high-profile rappers and producers eager to capitalize on the renewed spotlight. For Melly, these partnerships could help solidify his standing in the industry and expand his reach to new audiences. Beyond music, the case collapse has implications for Melly's branding and public persona. The legal drama had, for years, been a double-edged sword. It fueled media attention and added a sense of danger and authenticity to his public image, but it also carried significant reputational risks. Now, with the investigation faltering, Melly has the chance to reshape his narrative. Fans and media alike are eager to see how he addresses the experience publicly, through interviews, social media, and his music. The potential to pivot from a figure shadowed by controversy to one defined by resilience is significant, and careful management of public relations will be crucial. Law enforcement and legal observers are also watching the aftermath closely. Prosecutors involved in the case are reportedly reviewing the failures that led to the collapse, from witness credibility issues to procedural missteps. The ripple effect could influence how future cases involving artists or gang-related allegations are investigated, highlighting the importance of diligence, accuracy, and adherence to legal protocols. The outcome may encourage law enforcement to exercise greater caution, particularly when dealing with high-profile defendants whose cases are subject to intense public scrutiny. Social media continues to amplify the story. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are filled with fan reactions, viral clips, and commentary on the collapse of the investigation. Memes, celebratory posts, and trending hashtags reflect both the community's support for Melly and the cultural fascination with celebrity legal battles. The online conversation also highlights broader societal debates about justice, media influence, and the intersection of fame and criminal allegations. For Melly, this digital momentum is invaluable, keeping him in the public eye while simultaneously framing the narrative in his favor. The cultural impact is equally noteworthy. YNW Melly's situation underscores the vulnerability of artists operating in environments where legal scrutiny, public perception, and media narratives intersect. Hip-hop has long been intertwined with stories of struggle, adversity, and resilience, and Melly's experience reinforces these themes. By overcoming the collapse of a major legal case, he can leverage his story to connect with fans on a deeper level, highlighting themes of perseverance, justice, and creative triumph over adversity. In addition, the collapse of the case has sparked discussions about systemic issues in criminal investigations involving celebrities and gang-related allegations. Critics argue that public figures are often subjected to intense scrutiny that can skew narratives and affect both legal and media outcomes. Melly's victory, therefore, becomes not only a personal triumph, but also a focal point for broader conversations about fairness, accountability, and the role of media in shaping public perception. By the end of Part 4, it is clear that the ramifications of the investigation falling apart extend far beyond the courtroom. YNW Melly stands at a pivotal moment in his career, with opportunities to reclaim his narrative, expand collaborations, and strengthen his brand. At the same time, the case serves as a cautionary tale for the music industry, law enforcement, and media alike, highlighting the delicate balance between fame, legal scrutiny, and public perception. As the dust settles, Melly's next moves will be watched closely, shaping not just his future but also the broader conversation around celebrity, justice, and resilience in modern hip-hop culture. As the dust begins to settle following the collapse of the gang investigation against YNW Melly, attention has shifted from courtroom drama to the long-term implications for the rapper, the music industry, and public perception. This is more than just a legal victory. It represents a turning point in Melly's career, a case study in celebrity justice, and a reflection of how fame intersects with the legal system in high-stakes cases. One of the most immediate consequences is the restoration of Melly's personal and professional freedom. Years of court appearances, media scrutiny, and legal uncertainty had placed immense pressure on him, affecting not only his creative output but also his public image. With the case weakening, Melly can now redirect his focus toward music production, tours, and collaborations that were previously stalled or complicated by his legal situation. Industry insiders suggest that this could trigger a surge in activity across his social media platforms, streaming services, and media appearances, leveraging the narrative of resilience and triumph over adversity to engage fans. Collaboration opportunities, in particular, are expected to expand significantly. Artists who had been hesitant to associate with him during the height of the investigation may now view him as a safe and marketable partner. Record labels are reportedly reassessing previously paused projects, seeing the public's renewed interest as a chance to capitalize on the momentum. Collaborations with other top-tier artists could serve as both a creative revival and a strategic move, amplifying his presence in the music world while reinforcing the narrative of a comeback. Public perception is also undergoing a transformation. The media initially framed Melly as deeply enmeshed in criminal activity, and social narratives often painted him in a negative light. With the investigation collapsing, fans and cultural commentators are now reframing the story. Social media platforms are flooded with supportive messages, celebratory posts, and viral clips highlighting the victory. Many fans interpret the outcome as evidence of unjust targeting or overreach, while others simply celebrate the rapper's perseverance. This shift in narrative is crucial because, in today's culture, public perception heavily influences career opportunities, sponsorships, and brand partnerships. From a broader industry perspective, the collapse of the investigation underscores the importance of due diligence, credibility, and procedural integrity in legal cases involving high-profile artists. Prosecutors are reportedly reviewing the case internally, analyzing the missteps that contributed to its unraveling, from unreliable witnesses to evidence handling errors. The lessons learned here are likely to influence how future investigations involving celebrities are conducted, ensuring stricter adherence to standards to avoid similar collapses. This may also spark debates about the fairness and transparency of the justice system when dealing with public figures. Culturally, the situation reinforces the recurring theme of resilience within hip-hop. Artists often navigate complex personal histories, systemic challenges, and public scrutiny, and Melly's victory embodies the genre's ethos of perseverance in the face of adversity. Fans and commentators are highlighting how the rapper's journey reflects broader societal conversations about justice, fame, and redemption. In a genre where authenticity and overcoming struggle are celebrated, Melly's story may resonate deeply, both as a cautionary tale and as inspiration for others facing similar challenges. The financial implications are significant as well. With the legal cloud lifted, Melly has the opportunity to pursue revenue streams that were previously restricted or risky. Tours, merchandise, sponsorships, and new music releases are all now more viable. And the media attention surrounding the case adds a promotional boost that can translate directly into commercial success. Analysts suggest that a carefully timed release strategy, coupled with smart branding, could maximize the benefits of the public narrative shift. On a personal level, sources close to Melly indicate that the rapper is focused on reclaiming his life and his creative output. The stress of legal battles, media scrutiny, and public speculation has taken a toll, but overcoming this chapter may allow him to refocus on personal growth, artistic development, and community engagement. Some speculate that he may use his platform to address broader issues, such as criminal justice reform or support for at-risk youth, further expanding the impact of his story beyond music. In conclusion, the collapse of the gang investigation against YNW Melly is far more than a legal footnote. It is a transformative moment in his career and personal life. From restoring creative freedom and public image to influencing industry practices and cultural narratives, the ramifications are profound. Melly's journey illustrates the complex interplay of fame, law, and public perception in the modern era, highlighting both the opportunities and challenges that come with being a high-profile artist navigating a legal system under the spotlight. As the rapper moves forward, fans, industry insiders, and cultural commentators will be watching closely, knowing that this pivotal moment has the potential to redefine his career, his legacy, and the broader conversation about justice in the world of hip-hop. This isn't just a legal win. It's a moment that could redefine YNW Melly's career and legacy forever. After years of court battles, media scrutiny, and public speculation, the rapper has emerged victorious as the gang investigation collapses, proving that resilience, strategy, and determination can overcome even the toughest challenges. But the story doesn't end here. How will Melly leverage this victory? Will he reclaim his spot at the top of the music industry, collaborate with big names, and rebuild his public image stronger than ever? If you want to stay updated with every insider detail, every reaction, and every new move from YNW Melly, subscribe now and hit the notification bell. Join the conversation in the comments. Share your thoughts, predictions, and theories about what this legal victory means for him and the hip-hop world. Don't miss a single update because this story is far from over, and the next chapter could be even bigger.